She didn't flinch when the officer spat near her shoes, didn't raise her voice, didn't break eye contact, just stood there, silent, composed, while the two men in uniform leaned back in their squad car, laughing. "You lost, ma'am," one of them said, grinning. "You people usually don't wander this far up the block." The other added, "Hey, you got ID on you? Or should we just assume something's missing from the nearest corner store?" She didn't say a word, just glanced briefly at the station across the street, District 9, then turned and walked away, heels clicking slowly on the pavement like a clock ticking toward reckoning. If you're already feeling something, hold on. What happens next is going to shift the entire room. And if stories like this matter to you, help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Like this video, leave your thoughts, and subscribe for more. Her name was Amina Brooks, 43, former military, criminology PhD, served in 3 states. She wasn't just a new face in town, she was a seismic shift. What they didn't know yet, what none of them knew, was that she wasn't just visiting. She was the new chief, and she'd come unannounced for one reason: to learn exactly what kind of culture she was about to inherit. She'd heard the rumors. District 9 had a discipline problem. Officers mocking residents. Excessive force complaints swept under the rug. A reputation for handling things internally. She needed to see it with her own eyes. Inside the station, Officers Daniels and Price were back from their encounter. Daniels was already telling the story again, louder now, laughing as he acted out Amina's posture. She just stood there like she owned the place, like she was somebody. I almost asked her if she was lost in time or space. The others chuckled. No one questioned it. That's how rot works. It doesn't shout. It seeps. Captain Morales, the interim head, passed by, barely reacting. He was retiring next week. He didn't care. Upstairs, the briefing room was buzzing. The staff had all been called in for a mandatory announcement. Daniels leaned over to Price. "Bet it's some diversity hire. City loves those these days." Price smirked. "Maybe we'll get lucky and she'll be hot." The door opened, and in walked Amina. Hair neatly tied, crisp uniform, medals glinting under the lights. She didn't smile. She didn't pause. She stepped to the podium with the quiet command of someone who'd earned every stitch of that badge. The room fell into a still, nervous silence. Morales stood beside her, suddenly very awake. "This," he said, voice tight, "is Chief Amina Brooks. She'll be taking over District 9 starting today." You could feel the oxygen leave the room. Daniels turned ghost white. Amina let the pause sit. "Some of you already met me," she said, eyes moving across the room, landing, unblinking, on Daniels. "You just didn't know who I was." She let that land, then continued, calm, clear. "I'm not here to play gotcha games, but I also didn't come to be tolerated. I came to lead, and leadership starts with truth." Midway through her speech, she paused again, looked around. You don't build trust in a community by wearing the same uniform every day. You build it by earning the right to wear it at all. Someone coughed in the back. No one laughed this time. And if this moment means something to you, if you've ever felt underestimated, dismissed, or judged before you even spoke, like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe. Your voice belongs here. After the meeting, Daniels tried to avoid eye contact. Amina didn't stop him. She didn't need to. Respect is not demanded in words. It's earned in silence. But privately, she pulled Price into her office. "Officer Price," she said, calm but firm, "tell me about the woman you saw this morning." He stammered. We thought she was..." She nodded. "Exactly." End of part 1. 5 1,000 characters. Officer Price leaves her office looking like he'd just seen a ghost, not because she yelled, not because she threatened, because she didn't. That silence, that space between what happened and what could have happened, it said more than anything she could have screamed. Downstairs, Daniels is pacing. He keeps glancing toward the exit like he might bolt. Cowardice doesn't show up all at once. It arrives in tremors. Meanwhile, Amina sits in the chief's office, her office now, reviewing internal affairs files with the calm of a surgeon. She's already flagged 3 names for follow-up, not because she's hunting heads, because the numbers tell a story. And it's always the numbers that lie the least. Later that afternoon, she visits the community room. A town hall has been scheduled. Hastily, she insisted. When she walks in, every seat is full. Local business owners, parents, even a few teenagers hovering in the back, skeptical but curious. Amina walks to the front and sets her notes down without looking at them. "I know some of you have no reason to trust this badge anymore," she says. "I'm not here to ask you to forget anything. I'm asking for one thing. There's a long Let me pause. Earn the right to be heard."
Then a hand goes up. A teenage girl in the front row. Straight posture, direct eyes. What happens to the ones who disrespect us when no one's watching? Amina doesn't look away. They answer for it, starting now. The room is quiet, but something has shifted. Not trust, not yet. But the air feels different. Midway through the event, she sees a face she wasn't expecting. An older man, gray beard, calloused hands, eyes like time itself. Sergeant Leon Hayes, retired, legendary, first black officer in District 9. She'd studied him, quoted him in her thesis. She thought he was long gone. After the event, he waits until she's alone, then steps up. "They don't know who you are yet," he says. "But I do." She smiles, just slightly. "Then you know I'm not walking away." "Damn right you're not." That night, as she walks to her car, she finds a note tucked under the wiper blade. No name, just, "Should have stayed where you belonged." She folds it slowly and slips it into her coat pocket. No fear in her step, but the tension is rising. The next morning, Daniels is called into her office. He looks everywhere but at her. "Sit." He does. "You know why you're here?" He swallows hard. "I messed up." "You disrespected a civilian." He doesn't answer. "You disrespected your superior." His eyes dart up. "You made a judgment about someone based on how they looked, based on your assumptions. And that's not just a mistake. That's a breach of public trust." He tries to interrupt. She holds up a hand. "You're suspended. Effective immediately. Pending further review." Silence. Then, from Daniels, something no one expected. "I thought you were just some lady. And now?" He shrugs, voice cracking just slightly. "Now I know you're the boss." She doesn't gloat, doesn't lean into the moment, just says plainly, "Next time, know that every person deserves respect before you know their title." By the end of the week, her name is starting to spread through the department. Some whisper, some cheer, a few walk on eggshells. She knows change doesn't come by force. It comes by consistency. She institutes a new rule. Every patrol car must carry a body cam. Every officer must log a daily community interaction. Not just the arrests, the listens, the helps, the truths. Midway through a staff meeting, she looks around the room. "If you think I'm here to scare you," she says, "you're not wrong. But I'm not here to scare you into obedience. I'm here to scare you into remembering what your badge should stand for." Some shift in their chairs, others sit a little taller, and if you've ever watched someone change a system from the inside, not with shouting, but with presence, like this video, leave your thoughts and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000, and your support helps stories like this reach more people. Outside, she walks through the lot. Her old boots still crunch on the gravel. She doesn't take the reserved spot. Parks in the back, where the rookies park. A voice behind her. "Chief?" She turns. It's Officer Luna, young, unsure, quiet. I just wanted to say thanks for not letting him speak for all of us. Amina nods. Then don't let him, ever. The wind picks up. The sun hits the side of the building just right. She doesn't smile, but her eyes do. The next few weeks are quiet, but not peaceful. Tension simmers under the surface like heat beneath pavement. There are no open challenges to her leadership, but Amina knows how resentment hides behind compliance. The real test isn't the ones who push back loudly. It's the ones who wait, hoping she'll break. She doesn't. She arrives early, leaves late, watches everything. She reviews body cam footage not to catch officers failing, but to catch patterns forming. She meets weekly with community members, listens without taking notes. She lets people see her, and little by little something changes. Not overnight, not dramatically, but undeniably. An older woman who runs a food stand outside the station starts waving to her in the mornings. A group of kids who used to scatter at the sight of a cruiser now walk past without flinching. She notices it. More importantly, so do her officers. Then there's Daniels, still suspended, still sulking, but he's been showing up to the hearings, quiet in the back, and one day he asks for a meeting. Amina agrees. He walks in, head down, back straight. I'm not here to defend myself, he starts. She raises an eyebrow. That's a first. He nods, takes a breath. I grew up around here, he says. I joined because I thought I could make a difference. You made one, she replies, calm. Just not the kind you wanted. He doesn't argue. I want to try again, he says. Not because I want my badge back, because I need to be better than I've been. She studies him. Change doesn't come with apologies, she says. It comes with proof. She gives him a task. Spend 2 weeks volunteering in the community, out of uniform. No press, no fanfare, just people and time. He accepts. She doesn't trust him yet, but she believes in the possibility of change. Meanwhile, pressure mounts from city leadership. They liked the press bump when she first arrived. A fresh face, a historic appointment. But now that she's changing actual procedures, they're less enthusiastic. One council member pulls her aside after a public meeting. You're making waves, he says. We needed a storm, she answers. He doesn't smile. Later that week, she receives a formal warning. Too many policy shifts, too fast, too much visibility. They want her to slow down. She wants to accelerate. At a neighborhood safety walk, she meets a girl, no older than 12, named Kiara. Kiara walks beside her, quiet at first. Then, are you really the boss? Amina smiles. I am. That's weird. Why? 'Cause you don't yell, you listen. That stops Amina for a second. Then she kneels down beside her. A good chief doesn't need to shout, she says. She just needs to show up. Kiara shrugs, then asks, You ever get scared? Amina thinks about that, about the note on her car, about the glares in the hallway, about being the only one like her in every room she walks into. All the time, she says, but I do it anyway. Kiara smiles. That's when Amina knows she's exactly where she's meant to be. 2 days later, a call comes in. Domestic disturbance. Same neighborhood where Amina was profiled weeks ago. The responding officer? Daniels. Amina watches the body cam feed live from HQ. He approaches carefully, calm, measured, de-escalates with words, not threats. When it's over, the report is clean. No use of force, no raised voice, just resolution. Later, he shows up at her office, holds out the printed report. No excuses, just growth, he says. She nods, then hands him back his badge. Don't wear it like a shield, she says. Wear it like a mirror. That night, she stands outside the station, alone. The wind is picking up again. The city is still noisy, still flawed. But something is different. A man walks by, middle-aged, faded jacket, rough hands. He pauses, recognizes her. You're the chief, right? That's right. Saw what you did with that Daniels guy. Took guts. She nods. We're all trying to get better, she says. You already are, he replies. Then walks on. She watches him go, then looks back at the badge in her hand. And if stories like this make you believe change is still possible, if you've ever wanted to see someone hold the line with integrity, like this video, comment below, and subscribe. We're almost at 1,000, and your voice helps us get there. Amina doesn't need headlines, but they come anyway. New chief reshapes District 9 culture. Disgraced officer reinstated after public service transformation. A black woman changes the system from inside. She knows attention doesn't equal change, but it can open doors for conversations that used to be whispered. What matters most to her is quieter. The calls she no longer gets about unnecessary stops. The shopkeeper who no longer locks the door when officers enter. The mother who now waves at patrol cars instead of clutching her child's hand tighter. It's not perfection, it's progress. In a staff meeting 2 weeks later, she notices something. Laughter. Not cruel, not sarcastic, just light. Someone brings in snacks. Another jokes about the new community garden project. There's still work to do, mountains of it. But for the first time, the station doesn't feel like it's bracing for impact. It feels like it's building something. One afternoon, she steps into the archives room. No one else is there. Dust hangs in the air like memory. She finds an old personnel file, stamped closed. She recognizes the photo, a young Leon Hayes. She flips the page and finds a commendation letter written by a supervisor who'd tried to get him promoted. Denied. No reason given. She sighs, then pulls a pen from her pocket and writes a note on the folder. This story isn't finished. Chief Brooks. She places it back on the shelf, but not at the back, at eye level, where others will find it. The next town hall is different. More people, more questions, more trust. Amina listens, answers, challenges, and commits, all in the same breath. Someone asks if she plans to run for office. She smiles politely. Leadership isn't about chasing titles, she says. It's about showing up where you're needed. I'm needed here. The room applauds. She nods once, then steps down, handing the mic to a local teen organizing a youth police dialogue group. She doesn't need to be center stage anymore. Later that week, she's walking through the district on foot, no motorcade, no uniform. She hears her name. Chief Brooks! It's Kiara again, this time with a small group of friends. They've drawn up a project proposal, a mural for the precinct wall. She reads the description, a timeline of change, from silence to voice. She kneels to their level, reviews it in detail, gives them ideas, and then lets them take the lead.
Paint what you've seen, she says, but don't forget to paint what you want to see. Back at the station, Daniels now runs a weekly de-escalation workshop. No one's forcing him, no camera rookies, and the understanding that failure isn't final, not if you face it. Price, once his sidekick, now spends time with a community center helping teens explore law enforcement careers. It's not a transformation story. It's a responsibility story. And Amina watches it unfold not with pride, but with steady expectation. One evening, she stands outside the precinct as the sun sets behind the buildings. She's not in uniform, just a coat, a scarf, and the quiet. Leon Hayes walks up beside her. They don't speak at first. Then he says simply, "Never thought I'd see the day." Amina responds softly, "I did. That's why I came back." He nods. "They won't forget you, you know." She shakes her head. "Don't want them to remember me." She turns to him. "I want them to remember what this place can be when someone listens." Later that night, alone in her office, she opens the drawer. Inside is the folded note someone once left on her car. "Should have stayed where you belonged." She unfolds it again, then slowly writes underneath in black ink, "I did." She places it in a small frame on the shelf behind her desk. No trophy, no award, just proof. Outside, the mural begins. Kids sketching, parents watching. On one side, shadows. A woman standing alone. In the middle, a rising sun. And on the other side, A row of officers standing not in front of the people, but beside them. One of the kids signs it with big, bold letters, District 9, a new chapter. And if you believe in stories where dignity wins, where power is used to lift, not crush, then like this video, leave your thoughts and subscribe. We're building something here, and your voice is part of it. Let's reach 1,000 together and keep going beyond that.